Okay, the first slide will starting with me. The coronavirus is an infectious disease that attacks the respiratory system, which was first discovered in Wuhan, China at the end of December 2019. The COVID-19 pandemic has a major impact globally on all industrial sectors, including the pharmaceutical industry. As a result of this pandemic, the pharmaceutical industry in Indonesia is experiencing problems in the supply chains because the Indonesian pharmaceutical industry still relies on imported pharmaceutical raw materials. This is because a number of exporting countries for pharmaceutical raw materials have imposed lockdowns and restrictions on activities that have caused the country's productivity to decline, including export of medicinal raw materials, which have caused delays in the global pharmaceutical supply chain, including in Indonesia. Besides that, the exporting countries of raw medicinal materials will emphasize the need for national drug supply to be fulfilled and be effective until an indefinite time limit. Okay, next presentation will continue with my friend.
The sustainability of the supply chain for pharmaceutical supplies is a problem due to restrictions on activities in various regions. If this outbreak continues, the stock of pharmaceutical supplies and pharmaceutical raw materials has the potential to run low, which can lead to scarcity on a larger scale. And until now, the pharmaceutical industry in Indonesia still relies on imports of around 90% of the raw materials for medicine used, the pharmaceutical manufacturing process from abroad. The existence of industrial closures, lockdowns, and restriction on activities in China has caused productivity from that country to decline, causing export activities to stagnate, including the export of medical raw materials. This has the potential to cause obstruction in the flow of pharmaceutical supply chains globally, including Indonesia. However, in the long term, this virus outbreak has the potential to cause problems for the sustainability of the supply chains and delay the manufacturing process of the pharmaceutical industry due to activity restriction.
Okay, the next about the challenge of the pharmaceutical industry in the midst of the COVID-19 outbreak. The COVID-19 pandemic has made the pharmaceutical industry face major challenges, including the first about in terms of financing. To meet the need for 350 million doses of vaccine, the pharmaceutical industry has to pay a lot of money because the capital of pharmaceutical BUMN this year has been very depressed. And the next about top challenge await in the pharmaceutical industry. The reason is currently a vaccine or drug for COVID-19 that is truly effective and legally recognized by WHO has not been found. And the next about the pharmaceutical industry also has challenge in dealing with COVID-19, such as the company does not have alternative sources of raw material, does not carry out careful planning related to supplier, inventory status, and does not have flexible logistic flow. And the last about there was a decrease in performance because demand dropped drastically down 50 to 60% because non-COVID-19 patient visiting health facilities drastically decreased. With the condition of decreasing market demand, the level of production in factories also decreased. This has an impact on workers in pharmaceutical factories who are forced to be sent home. Due to low factories utilization, layoffs have started or lay off employees. Prediction of 2,000 to 3,000 employees are already home.
Okay, number 4, pharmaceutical industry strategy to face the impact of COVID-19. The pharmaceutical industry now has to rack its brain to maintain the smooth flow of the supply chains so that it can be said to be an industry that has a strong supply chain. The strategy that the pharmaceutical industry can undertake in order to deal with the COVID-19 outbreak can be categorized into 3 aspects of the supply chain management. Namely, first, about the inventory management, and second, information management, and the third, company financial management. Okay, first about inventory management. In the pharmaceutical industry, inventory management is the main key in the supply chain management. During the pandemic, the pharmaceutical industry must strive to maintain safety stock by developing a situation adaptive inventory strategy by simulation 13 inventory scenario and their impact on inventory level and cost. Okay, and the second, information management. This can be done starting from tracking and digging up the latest information at any time related to the last situation development and communication. Consultation with internal and external parties. Communication to external parties by the pharmaceutical industry should also be carried out proactively with a supplier in the affected area, especially in related to contract between the pharmaceutical industry as a buyer and supplier. Apart from making contact with external parties, the pharmaceutical industry should also communication internally. Okay, last, company financial management. The pharmaceutical industry as an entity engine in the business sector cannot be separated from financial factor to support operation activity. The financial aspect is one aspect that drives the supply chains. The pharmaceutical industry needs to pay attention to the financial factor affect this pandemic. Several efforts can be made by the pharmaceutical industry in the financial term.
Okay, that's all our presentation. Thank you for watching. See you.